Hi, I'm Brogen and you're watching One to Watch. First of all, apologies for the lateness of this week's One to Watch. I've been suffering with some voice issues, so I didn't necessarily want to inflict those upon you when watching a video. Not really what you want to hear, but I'm here now. And this week's One to Watch is Startup. Startup is directed by David Mackenzie, who previously brought us films such as Perfect Sense and Young Adam. And like the films that he has brought us before, Startup is a challenging, intriguing and engaging piece of work. The film stars Jack O'Connell, best known to some as Cook from Skins, but he's also appearing in 300 Rise of an Empire at the moment. He plays Eric Love, a young man who has been moved from juvenile prison to adult prison. That's where the title of the film comes from. He has been starred up. We never know what he's done, but the film is about his adjustment from juvenile hall to adult prison, where he has to sort of make a name for himself very, very quickly in order not to be attacked or to be taken seriously or to just keep his reputation going. The trouble for Eric is that his father, Neville, who's played by Ben Mendelsohn, is also in the same prison as he is. And while his father's presence is generally quite a negative one, he has this mentor who emerges, played by Rupert Friend. He's a volunteer therapist who volunteers in the prison. So the film becomes this really interesting power play between Neville, who is basically, if Eric keeps going down the road that he's going, is who Eric will turn out to be, and Oliver, who's the volunteer therapist, who is trying to help Eric to see the impact of his action. The film is super violent in places, but David Mackenzie also allows the humanity of the characters to shine through. Even as they're being violent, you can see the vulnerability. It's not necessarily an easy film to watch, and there's a lot of information that is not given to us. We don't know why Eric's in prison, we don't know why his father's in prison, we don't know how long they're in for, but we do know that they're in prison for violent crimes. But this is not a film about why people end up in prison, it's a film about prison life. The screenplay was written by a guy named Jonathan Asser, who actually used to work in a prison. So the character of Oliver is a little bit autobiographical, we guess. The film is shot entirely in a disused prison, which adds to this air of claustrophobia, of confinement, of cold. The cells and the rooms and every space in the prison seems cold, and that fits with the themes of the film. This is not a place that people end up in because they've been too kind. Director David Mackenzie has developed this skill over his career of telling these really big stories in really confined spaces, and Startup is another one of those stories. It's not necessarily an easy watch, it's not necessarily an entertaining watch, but it's a very engaging film, and the central performances from Ben Mendelsohn, Rupert Friend and Jack O'Connell completely make it. There's chemistry between them, there's fear, there's respect, there's every gamut of human emotions basically runs between these three characters, and it does turn into a bit of a power struggle, ending in some sort of grudging respect. Out of 10, I would give Startup 8. It is an incredibly solid film and it's definitely worth your time, but like I say, not an easy one to watch. Definitely not. And until next week, when I will deliver my video on time, I promise, I've been Brogen, and this has been One to Watch.